The Gift of the Magi, 1. It was the day before Christmas. Della had already counted out her money 3 times. All of the money was in coins. She had $1.87. It was not a lot of money. 60 cents of the money was in pennies. This was a collection of money she had saved after bargaining with the grocer and the butcher when she went shopping. Della lay on her old couch and cried. She cried and cried. Della felt that life was really only made up of sobbing, sniffling, and smiles, but that sniffling with tears seemed to take up most of life. She lived in a modest furnished apartment. Her rent was $8 a week. In the hallway of her apartment was a letter box, into which no letter would go. There was an electric button for the doorbell, but the bell did not work. Above the button there was a card with the name Mr. James Dillingham Young written on it. Mr. James Dillingham Young had had better days in his life. There had been a time when he had earned $30 a week. These days, however, he only earned $20. James was called Jim by his wife. Della adored her husband Jim. Della stopped crying and put some makeup on her face. She looked out of the window and saw a gray cat walking along a gray fence in a gray backyard. The next day would be Christmas Day, and Della had only $1.87 to buy Jim's present with. She had been saving the money for many months now. They struggled to get by on Jim's low wages. She had spent many hours wondering about what wonderful present she could buy for Jim. She wanted to buy him something very special. Della looked at her reflection in the tall mirror. She could see the reflection of her slim body. She took down her hair so it could fall full upon her shoulders. There were 2 particular things owned by the couple that they took great pride in. Jim loved the gold watch that had belonged to both his father and his grandfather. It had been in his family for many generations and was therefore very special to him. Meanwhile, Della had the most beautiful hair. She had hair that would make even an ancient queen jealous, and Jim adored it. Della stood admiring her beautiful brown hair. Her hair was very long. It fell below her knees and felt almost like a piece of clothing that covered her. Quickly and nervously, she put her hair back up on her head. She hesitated for a moment, standing still as 1 or 2 tears fell onto the old red carpet. She then put on her old brown jacket and her old brown hat. Her eyes lit up with excitement, and then she rushed out of the door and downstairs to the street. She walked down the street and saw a sign that said, Madame Sofronie, hair goods for all kinds. Della went up the steps to the shop and looked inside. "Will you buy my hair?" she asked Madame Sofronie. Madame Sofronie wanted to see Della's hair first before deciding whether she would buy it or not. When she saw Della's beautiful long hair, Madame Sofronie said, "I'll give you $20. Della agreed to have her hair cut off and grabbed the money from Madame Sofronie. The next couple of hours flew by as Della visited various stores looking for a special present for Jim. Finally, she found the present that she was sure Jim would love. It was a fine-looking chain to go with the watch he was so proud of. She felt it possessed the same quiet quality that she could see in Jim. She paid $21 for the watch chain and hurried home. Jim could now be more proud of his watch. He would no longer have to feel embarrassed about his old watch strap.